Good morning, students.
Good morning, ma'am.
Okay, switch on your videos. Here I can see only my face on the screen. Yeah. Thank you, Malavika. What about others? Those who are not facing any kind of network issues, please switch on your videos. Okay, children. So in the last class, we were discussed about the projectile motion. We can quickly recall all the concepts and terms associated with that of the projectile motion. After that, we can move to the derivation for the time of flight, expression for time of flight. Okay, so starting with Gaia. What do you mean by projectile or projectile motion?
Projectile motion is the motion followed by a projectile.
Okay, and what do you mean by projectile then?
It is when an object is projected into the air with an initial velocity that comes under the influence of gravity.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, this is what is known as projectile or projectile motion. Then Pranav, what about the trajectory or path of the projectile? The shape of the path of the projectile. Okay, then who is here? Abhinav, what is the shape of the path of the projectile? John Jose,
Yes, ma'am.
what about the trajectory or the path of the projectile? What is its shape?
A parabola.
It's a parabola. Okay, then one more question. What do you mean by point of projection, John?
It is the point at which the object is projected.
It is the point at which or from which the object is projected into the air is known as point of projection. Okay, good. Then John Philip, what do you mean by velocity of projection?
Of which the projectile is projected at.
Okay, the angle at which the projectile is projected is known as angle of projection. Then Sarah,
Sir,
velocity of projection.
the velocity with which the object is projected in the air is called velocity of a
Okay.
projectile.
The velocity at which the object is projected into air is called the velocity of projection. Okay, then Lakshmi,
Yes, ma'am.
what do you mean by maximum height?
The height.
Maximum height is the height. Definition for maximum height.
Distance traveled
Hmm.
by the projectile.
If it is the maximum height. Meryl, what do you mean by maximum height?
It is the maximum vertical distance traveled by the projectile from the ground level.
Okay, it is the maximum vertical distance that is traveled or covered by the projectile from that of the ground level. Then Jewel, mathematical expression for the maximum height.
U square sin square theta by g.
H is equal to u square sine square theta by 2g. U square sine square theta by 2g. Where u is the initial velocity and theta is the angle between them and g is the acceleration due to gravity. Okay, so today we are going to derive the expression for time of flight. Then Niranjan, what do you mean by time of flight?
Time taken to complete the trajectory.
Okay, it is the time taken by the projectile to complete the entire motion, that is from the point of projection to that of the ground level. So that is what is known as time of flight. So here we are going to derive an expression for time of flight. The time of flight is represented by the letter T. Okay, it is represented by the small letter T. So the next heading, expression for time of flight. It is the time taken by the projectile to complete its trajectory. That parabolic path is known as the projectile. So for that, here we are consider the second equation of motion. S is equal to V0t plus half AT square. S is equal to V0t plus half AT square, where S is the displacement, V0 is the initial velocity, T is the time, and A is the acceleration. And we know that here, if it is the point of projection, an object is projected into the air and it is reaches here. That is the ground level. So here from this figure, it is very clear that this is the initial point. And this is the final point. So here, the initial point and final point will be the same. Initial point and final point are along the x-axis. So students, can you think what about the displacement S? The displacement of the projectile. What will be? It is equal to 0 because here S is represents a displacement. Displacement. We can differentiate each term in this equation first. S is representing the displacement. That is the difference between the initial point and final point. The shortest distance between initial and final point is known as S. That is what is known as the displacement. So here in the case of projectile motion, we know that the point of projection and that of the final position are along the same x-axis. They are lies along the same direction, or they are lies in the same point. So final point and initial point will be the same. So here in this case, the displacement S is equal to 0. Now, what about V0? Initial velocity V0. V0 is equal to, we have two components. One is a vertical component, other is a horizontal component of velocity. So here we need to consider which component of initial velocity.
Horizontal.
Is it horizontal? Does the object or the projectile is moves along a straight line?
Vertical.
We need to consider the vertical because the projectile, if it is a ball like this, it is moving through a plane or a planar surface. So we need to consider the vertical component of the initial velocity. So here also we consider the vertical component of initial velocity. V0 is equal to u sine theta. If it is traveling in a straight line, then we can consider the horizontal component of initial velocity, but it is moving through air. So we need to consider the vertical component of initial velocity, that is u sine theta. Now, what about the term t? T is nothing, it is the time of flight. T is the time of flight. If it is a straight line motion, we have simply defined it is the time. But here we need to consider it as the time of flight, time taken by the projectile to complete the trajectory. So T represents the time of flight. And here we have one more term, A. What is this A represents?
Acceleration.
Acceleration, very good. A is the acceleration. But here, this acceleration of the projectile is due to what? It is due to the gravity or the gravitational force of the earth. Okay, so here this acceleration of the projectile is due to the gravitational force of the earth. So it is not the symbol A. Here we are representing it with the G. Here the acceleration due to gravity A is G, represented by G. It is due to the gravitational force of the earth. Again, what about the direction of this gravity or the gravitational force? Is it is acting downwards or upwards?
Downward.
Downwards. So you need to give a negative sign for this G, minus G. So now we can rewrite the equation, the second equation of motion in terms of the projectile motion. So S is equal to V0 T plus half AT square becomes, here the S, the displacement is equal to 0. V0, that is U sine theta T plus half into GT square. So it is minus GT square. Because here the acceleration is due to the gravitational force of the earth. That is the acceleration due to gravity, it takes a negative sign. So the equation becomes, we can write like this, U sine theta T plus of minus half GT square, that is minus half GT square is equal to 0. U sine theta T plus minus half GT square, that is U sine theta T minus half GT square is equal to 0. Or you can take this negative half GT square to the RHS. So it becomes U sine theta T is equal to plus half GT square. Any term cancel from both sides? Here we can cancel time. So 1 T from LHS and 1 T from RHS. So the equation becomes U sine theta is equal to half GT. U sine theta is equal to half GT. Therefore, time of flight, T is equal to, just rearrange the equation, time of flight, T is equal to,
2U sin theta by G.
yes, it is 2U sine theta by G. This is the expression for time of flight for a projectile. That is the time taken by the projectile to complete its trajectory is known as time of flight. Okay, so T is equal to 2U sine theta by G. Is there any doubt regarding with the steps, students? Anyone? We are starting with the second equation of motion and we just rewrite the terms present in this equation. Here S represents the displacement and this displacement becomes 0. It is because the initial and final position of the projectile is same. They are starting from the point of projection and its finishes or it is stops at the ground level. Both are along the x-axis. So the displacement, final position minus initial position is equal to 0 in the case of a projectile. Now V0 is the initial velocity. Here we consider it as U sine theta. We know that initial velocity resolved into two components, but here the projectile is moves in air. So we need to consider the vertical component of velocity. That is why we taken U sine theta. And here T, the term T is represents the time of flight and A is the acceleration. But here this acceleration is due to the gravitational force of the earth. So it is replaced by acceleration due to gravity represented by the letter G. It is acting downwards. So it is negative G. Then we just substitute all these terms into the equation. By rearranging all these terms, we get T is equal to 2U sine theta by G. Okay. So this T is equal to 2U sine theta by G is the time of flight. That is the time taken by the projectile to complete the entire trajectory. Entire parabolic path. T is equal to 2U sine theta by G. The 2U sine theta by G. This is the time taken by the projectile to complete the entire trajectory. Now you just imagine, what about the time taken by the projectile to complete half of its path?
U sin theta by G.
Yes. If the T is equal to 2U sine theta by G, is the time taken by the projectile to complete the entire trajectory, the entire parabolic path. Okay. So it is starting from the point of projection and it is reaches ground. So the time taken by the projectile to complete this entire path is given by the equation T is equal to 2U sine theta by G. So my question is, what about the time taken by the projectile to cover the half distance, that is in order to reach a maximum height? It becomes T is equal to 1/2 into 2U sine theta by G. So we can cancel these two. So the equation becomes t half. That is, in order to cover the half distance, not the entire trajectory, in order to cover the half distance, the equation becomes t half is equal to u sine theta by g. Okay. So t is equal to 2u sine theta by g is the time taken by the projectile to complete the entire path, the trajectory, the entire parabolic path. But here we assume that if the projectile is the time taken by the projectile to complete half of its path is given by u sine theta by g, then the next half by 1 more u sine theta by g. So the total distance covered by the projectile is given by, or time taken to cover the total distance is given by t is equal to u sine theta by g plus u sine theta by g. That is equal to 2u sine theta by g. So you must keep this point in your mind. The entire path is covered. The time taken to cover the entire path is given by t is equal to 2u sine theta by g. In order to cover a half distance, the time taken by the projectile is given by u sine theta by g. Okay. Now we are going to derive the next expression, that is range of projectile. Range of projectile. What do you mean by range of projectile? Did you write the definition for this? Actually, this is what we call it as horizontal range of projectile. This is the exact word, horizontal range of projectile, and we simply define it in terms of range of projectile. It is the horizontal distance traveled by the projectile during the entire motion. Horizontal distance traveled by the projectile during the entire motion. Horizontal distance covered by the projectile. Vertical distance covered, the maximum vertical distance covered by the projectile is known as maximum height. It is represented by h. Now, the horizontal range of projectile, we simply call it as range of projectile. It is the horizontal distance traveled by the projectile during its motion. It is represented by the letter capital R, not by H. Some of them are misunderstand horizontal range of projectile. So most of them have a tendency to represent it with the H. But we are normally call it as range of projectile. That is why we represent this range of projectile using the letter R, capital R. It is the horizontal distance covered by the projectile. Is it over?
Yes.
Okay. Now the expression for range of projectile. Expression for range of projectile. So for this, we are starting with the velocity of a particle, velocity or the speed of a particle. So it is given by v is equal to d by t, rate of change of displacement. Or here, if we suppose it is the speed, we can take it as it is the rate of change of distance covered by the object. So speed and velocity, we can consider they are in the same extent, because here we are consider the motion of a projectile in a plane. So if the object is moves in a plane, the speed and velocity is considered as a same meanings. Velocity is nothing, it is the speed itself with a definite direction. So velocity is the rate of change of displacement. Okay. So here we need to calculate the range. Range means maximum horizontal distance. It is the horizontal distance. So here in this equation, B is equal to D by T. This D represents the horizontal distance. So we can rewrite this equation in the form D is equal to BT. B is equal to D by T. That is, velocity is the rate of change of displacement, or speed is the rate of change of distance. So here we want to calculate the horizontal distance covered by the projectile. So the equation becomes D is equal to VT. So now we can differentiate each term in this equation. After that, we can find an expression for it. D is nothing. It is the horizontal distance. Horizontal distance. And in the case of a projectile motion, this horizontal distance is nothing. It is known as the range, represented by R. So in this equation, we are going to replace the term D is equal to R. D is the distance. In the case of a projectile motion, it is not a simple distance. It is the horizontal distance covered by the projectile. And that horizontal distance covered by the projectile during its motion is known as range. We represented it by R. Okay. Again, the term V. What is V represents? V. It is the initial velocity. Okay. Or velocity, simply the velocity. But here we are consider the projectile that is moving only with an initial velocity. So here we don't need to consider the final velocity of the object. This is the initial velocity. And what is the initial velocity here? Think and answer. What will be the initial velocity? We have two components, vertical component and horizontal component. Think and answer.
U sin theta.
Yes, it is U sin theta. Which distance we are consider here?
U cos theta.
It is horizontal distance. So we need to consider the horizontal component of velocity. Okay. Because here we are considering the maximum horizontal distance covered by the object. Maximum horizontal distance covered by the object. So we know that the velocity component is resolved into two. One is U cos theta, that is along the x-axis, U sin theta, that is along the y-axis. While we are considering the maximum height covered by the projectile, we consider the vertical component because it is the maximum vertical distance covered by the projectile. But here we are calculating the horizontal distance traveled by the projectile. Horizontal distance means here you can see it is the distance from the point of projection to that of the final position. So it is known as range. Okay, so here we need to consider the horizontal component of velocity. It is U cos theta. Okay, so in our equation, the V is nothing. It is the initial velocity. And here we consider it is the U cos theta. And what is this T represent? It is the time taken by the projectile to complete its motion. Okay, that is time of flight. In the case of projectile motion, the time T represents the time of flight. So our equation becomes d is equal to vt. This equation d is equal to vt is changed into, instead of d, here we have the distance is taken as range, maximum range. The horizontal distance covered by the projectile, it is known as range of the projectile. And what is v? It is the initial velocity u cos theta into, what about time? Time of flight.
T.
Time of flight is t, but in the previous case, we derive an equation for calculating this time of flight. What's that?
You sine theta by g.
Yes, it is 2u sine theta by g. T is the time of flight, but now we know how we can calculate the time of flight. The time of flight t is equal to 2u sine theta by g. That is what is we were derived in the previous case. So we can substitute the value of t here. So it becomes any term will cancel here. U cos theta into 2u sine theta. That is r is equal to u into u becomes u square 2 sine theta cos theta divided by g. Okay, so our equation become r is equal to u square 2 sine theta cos theta by g. Again, so here we get r is equal to u square 2 sine theta cos theta by g. Are you familiar with this term in trigonometry? What is 2 sine theta cos theta represents? In 10th mathematics, sometimes you maybe study the value of this trigonometric function. 2 sine theta cos theta is equal to 2 sine theta cos theta is equal to, yes, it is sine 2 theta. This is the value of 2 sine theta cos theta. Those who are not knowing this relation, please write it in the side. 2 sine theta and put it in a box. So here we are using this relation from trigonometry. 2 sine theta cos theta is equal to sine 2 theta. So the equation for range becomes, range is the horizontal distance of the projectile, becomes r is equal to u square sine 2 theta by g. U square sine 2 theta by g. This is the expression or equation for the range of projectile. The range of projectile is nothing. It is the horizontal distance covered by the projectile from the point of projections to that of the ground. So r is equal to u square sine 2 theta by g. Okay, now we can discuss one special case here. So before that, once again, I will explain how we get the expression for this range or the maximum horizontal distance covered by the projectile. So expression for range of projectile, for that we are starting from the basic equation of motion. That is from speed or velocity. It is the rate of change of distance. V is equal to d by t. Velocity and speed is taken in the same meaning here, since the object is moves in a plane. So v is equal to d by t, where v is the velocity or speed, d is the distance, and t is the time. Okay, and here we want to calculate the horizontal distance covered by the object. So here d represents the horizontal distance covered by the projectile. The horizontal distance covered by the projectile from point of projection to that of the final position is known as range of the projectile. It is represented by letter R. So in the case of a projectile motion, the term distance d is replaced by the term R. Then Here V represents the velocity, but here we have only initial velocity. Final velocity component is equal to 0. So here we only need to think about the initial velocity possessed by the projectile. Again, we have one more problem. We have two components of initial velocity. One is a vertical component and other is a horizontal component. But here we consider, or we are calculating or determining the horizontal distance covered by the projectile. So we need to consider the horizontal component of velocity. That is why we taken it as u cos theta. Then t is nothing. It is the time of flight in the case of a projectile motion. And we derive an equation for the time of flight in the previous case. It is given by t is equal to 2u sin theta by g. So we substitute all these values into the equation d is equal to vt. The equation becomes r is equal to u cos theta into 2u sin theta by g. So it becomes r is equal to u square into, well, here we have 1u and 1u, it becomes u square cos theta into 2 sin theta. So it is 2 sin theta cos theta divided by g. Again, we are using the trigonometric relation. 2 sin theta cos theta is equal to sin 2 theta. So the equation becomes r is equal to u square sin 2 theta divided by g. Okay, now you can write a special case. Okay, special case means the angle at which the projectile obtain a maximum horizontal distance. The angle at which the angle at which the projectile attains a maximum horizontal range, or maximum horizontal distance. Horizontal range is given by theta is equal to 45 degree. The angle at which the projectile attains a maximum horizontal range is given by theta is equal to 45 degree. So you can expect a question from this question. So what's angle? At what angle the projectile attains a maximum horizontal range? So that angle is 45 degree. Okay, theta is equal to 45 degree. Then our equation becomes, we know that what is the equation for calculating the range R? R is equal to
U square sin 2 theta.
u square sin 2 theta by g. R is equal to u square sin 2 theta by g. So in order to obtain a maximum horizontal range, the angle theta should be equal to 45 degree. So the equation becomes R is equal to u square sin 2 into, here theta is 45 divided by g. That is R is equal to u square sin 2 into 45 is 90 degree divided by g. What is sin 90?
1.
Sin 90 is equal to 1. Therefore, the equation for range, for maximum range is obtained. R is equal to u square by g. This is a special case. So you can correlate this something that with our Olympics. So in this Olympics, our India won the gold medal in the javelin throw, right? What about the path followed by this javelin? What about the nature of motion? Is it a straight line motion?
Parabol.
It is a projectile motion, or the trajectory that is followed by this javelin is a parabola. Okay. And I think this year, most of them are put status of that man. Who is that? Who won the medal for India?
Neeraj Chopra.
Yeah, Neeraj Chopra. So can you guess at what angle he throw this javelin in order to obtain a maximum horizontal distance? It should be of the angle of
45 degree.
theta is equal to 45 degree. So if and only if the theta is equal to 45 degree, then only the projectile is reaches a maximum horizontal distance. So there will be a particular angle. If you throw the object or project the object into air in this particular angle, then only you can attain a maximum horizontal distance. Okay. So this is a special case for the range, maximum horizontal range. That is theta is equal to 45 degree. So if and only if the theta is equal to 45 degree, then only the sine theta becomes sine 90. So the range equation for range become R is equal to U square by G. Okay, now the last term associated with that of the projectile motion. It is what is known as trajectory. We are already write the definition for trajectory. What do you mean by trajectory? Trajectory is nothing. It is the parabolic path that is followed by projectile in air is called a trajectory. It is the parabolic path followed by the projectile in air. Okay, so this is what is known as trajectory. For a projectile, the path should be in a parabola. So now we can write an expression for this trajectory or the relation between the horizontal axis and that of the vertical axis. We have two initial velocity. Initial velocity is resolved into two components. One is u cos theta and other is u sin theta. So here we are going to find out an expression for the trajectory, the parabolic path followed by this trajectory. So write the next heading, expression for trajectory. Expression for trajectory. Expression for trajectory means we are going to find a relation between the horizontal axis and that of the vertical axis. Okay. Expression for trajectory. So we know that here we have the point O. Point O is nothing. It is the point of projection. What do you mean by point of projection? Point of projection. Unmute and say. Yes, it is the point at which we project the projectile into the air. That is what is known as projectile. Okay, point of projection. So here we are projecting an object into the air with an initial velocity u. It is resolved into two components. One is along the x-axis. We take that component as u cos theta. And other is along the y-axis. We taken that component as u sin theta. Okay, expression for trajectory. So if you project an object into the air, it should follow a trajectory like this. And the trajectory of this projectile is known as parabola. It should follow a parabolic path. Here we are going to find out an expression for this parabolic path. So for that, we consider the second equation of motion. Consider second equation of motion. Okay, quickly recall the second equation of motion.
S is equal to V0 T plus half AT square.
S is equal to V0 T plus half AT square. S is equal to V0 T plus half AT square. So we know that, so initially we can consider the displacement S is equal to V0 T plus half AT square. After a time interval, it is projecting with this equation S is equal to V0 T plus half AT square. But after some time interval or after some times, the projectile is reaches here. So here we can replace the displacement term by the vertical axis. It is by the vertical component. After a time interval T, the projectile that we are projecting into the air is reaches here. So the corresponding vertical component, we can consider it as y. So here the displacement term s is replaced by y. After a time interval t, the position, here s is represents the displacement or the particular position of the object. Here s is the position or the displacement, v0 is the initial velocity, t is the time of flight, a is the acceleration, but here due to the projectile motion it is nothing, it is the acceleration due to the gravitational force. So we can replace a by g and put a negative sign because the gravitational force is acting downwards, and t is the time of flight. So after a time interval t, the term s is equal to y. After a time interval t, the position of the projectile can be taken as y. Something that we can take along the y-axis. So it is taken as y. Then what about the initial velocity here? Initial velocity v0. We have two velocity components are there. One is vertical axis and other along the horizontal axis. Which velocity component that we need to consider here? After a time interval t, the position of the projectile here, we take the position of the projectile as y. Then what about the initial velocity here? Which velocity component that we need to take into account?
U sin theta.
It is u sin theta. Very good. So here v0 is equal to u sin theta. Okay. And the time of flight is same. T is equal to t. And here we know how to calculate the time of flight. What is the equation for time of flight? T is equal to 2u sin theta by g. So here we don't need to substitute the value of time. We can substitute t as it is. And here a is replaced by the acceleration due to gravity. It is g. And we can take it as negative g because this gravitational force is acting downwards. Okay. So here we are going to rewrite the second equation of motion in terms of these new terms. So according to second equation of motion, we have s is equal to v0 t plus half at square. But after a time interval t, the position of the object is at y. And the initial velocity becomes u sin theta. Here we need to consider the vertical component of velocity. Time is nothing. It is the time of flight t itself. Acceleration due to gravity, here it is represented by the letter g, and here we take it as a negative sign because acceleration due to gravity is acting downwards. So the equation becomes, instead of s, we have y. Y is equal to u sin theta t plus half into minus gt square. Or we can write y is equal to u sin theta t minus half gt square. Y is equal to u sin theta t minus half gt square. So put this equation as equation number 1. Now, again we are consider the horizontal component of velocity. After some times, we are consider the horizontal. The horizontal component of velocity or the projectile is remains the same. It is u cos theta itself. Okay, it's almost 10:09. It's a large derivation. We can finish this in the next class, in the next period. Okay, so here we are discussing the trajectory. We are going to derive an expression for the trajectory of the projectile. Trajectory of projectile is nothing. It is the path followed by the projectile. For a projectile, it should be a parabola. So here we are going to derive an expression for the path followed by the projectile. Okay, we can continue this derivation in the next period. It's almost 10:09. Now let me take your attention.